Being successful is not about working hard every day. It's not about waking up at 5 a.m. every morning to get certain things done. And it's definitely not about working yourself until you feel like you have no more to give. Do all of these things play a huge role in your overall success? If you implement them, will they increase the odds of you being successful? Of course, but there's truly only one thing that I personally feel like will guarantee success to come into anybody's life, no matter who you are or no matter what you do. And that one thing is relentless adaptability. Can you personally go through things that put you in a position to question whether or not you're meant for something and still overcome that thought of negativity? Can you be put in a position where you may not be getting the results that you want out of life and then make certain adjustments and persevere through that feeling of feeling like a failure, that feeling of feeling like things are never going to work out for you? That is what's going to determine whether or not you be successful. And quick little insight on my life, man, so y'all get a better understanding of what I mean by this form of relentless adaptability, right? You all know that I started my YouTube a little bit over a year ago. And throughout this amount of time, there's been so much inconsistency in terms of overall growth and success. So it's extremely hard for somebody like me to gain a sense of confidence and get momentum from something that is not secure or at least consistent. The only reason I'm even still here today making these videos and speaking to you guys as far as my life personally is because I'm able to have that sense of relentless adaptability. I'm able to go through things and adjust and move accordingly. I'm able to see something not working in my favor and not allow that to affect me mentally to the point where I quit or I give up. It's all about how much you and how often you can be put in a position where things are not going your way and you adapt. Not lose confidence, not lose hope in what's to come, but really just tweak certain things and make those adjustments. I feel like oftentimes so many people just complicate life. Is it a good thing to work hard? Yes. Is waking up at 5 in the morning probably going to benefit you in the long run? Of course. But these things are not mandatory and they will not guarantee success. It's about how many times you can get hit and keep going. It's about how many times you can look yourself in the mirror when something doesn't go right and don't lose hope in your overall vision or mission. And truthfully, one of the first things that you got to be open to is change. You really got to look at change as an opportunity for growth. So many people view change as a setback. When something doesn't go their way, okay, I'm getting off course and this is going to push me further away from where I want to be. And a lot of the times you may not even realize that that change is exactly what you needed. Putting yourself in a position to be uncomfortable so you can spark new ideas. Surrounding yourself by certain people or going out and networking so that, you guys can pick each other's brains so that it can help you elevate and you can grow. We really do got to get out of our shell and stop allowing ourselves to just have this negative viewpoint on change and what's to come, because I promise you more times than not, change will work in your favor if you just allow it to occur. If you stop going against the grain and stop trying to force yourself into this mold and this lifestyle that you've been living this long, when in reality it's just way past due. Something has to change in order for something to change. And that's truly what I live by. But life and career setbacks are inevitable. And this form of adaptability just allows you to bounce back. Just think about how many times you may have witnessed somebody go through something that was tragic or something that may not seem like it was working in their favor at that very moment, and they just quit on everything that they truly desired to be. Things that they may have been passionate about, truly wanted to do with their lives, but they quit when they faced this hardship or this obstacle, not understanding that this was just all a part of the process. This is a part of the script of your life and you have to write it. You cannot allow the enemy to come in and put this hardship in your life and you just suddenly decide to give up. Anything that you may possibly acquire in your life is not worth it if it is not something that you have to work for, if it's not something that you have to, fight and go through these hard times and go through these lows and these ups and downs. What is this form of success without the journey? These bumps in the road, this is the story that you're going to be able to tell to people when you finally make it and let them know, like, okay, you really got to persevere and push through this. And if you're not able to do that, then you'll probably never reach that true point of success that you may want to reach. And it's very important that you turn your failures into learning experiences. And this was such a huge thing for me growing up, because I would fail, but I wouldn't necessarily learn from it. I would just go through something and continue to coast through life as if, things weren't going to happen again. but you have to really take the time to sit back and digest what's going on around you. If something is not working in your favor and you are not getting the result that you want to get, you have to change something. You have to put yourself in a position to learn some type of valuable lesson from that hardship that you're experiencing, so that next time it can work in your favor. If you're going through so many different things on a daily basis and you aren't taking time to reflect and learn from it, then what are you possibly doing? You aren't growing. Really, you're just probably being more ignorant than anything. That's why I feel like we have to put the pride aside. We have to stop acting as if we know everything. And if, of course things happen for a reason, but you have to really train yourself to really take things in, to be humbled from time to time. This puts you in a position to be able to be a student, to be able to sit down and be able to learn and hear people that may be wiser than you, people that may have experienced more than you. Nobody is bigger than the actual program itself. And by program, I mean life. But this version of success that you're chasing, you are never going to reach unless you have that sense of relentless adaptability, unless you're able to go through these things and be able to see it through. And this really just ties into how quickly you can solve a problem. How much time does it take when a problem arises for you to make certain adjustments and then make something happen to solve that problem? If you're somebody that takes a little longer because you like to actually process and analyze what's going on, that's fine. But you have to train yourself to be able to react instinctively in a way that gets the best result for your life. There's certain things that I don't even have to think about because I've trained myself to allow them to become instincts, and they're just a proper move to make without even having to think. This is a switch that we should be able to turn on in any given moment, so that we know that we're making the right decisions, even unconsciously, when we may not even be thinking or processing what's really going on in that very moment. You have to be able to solve the problems that are going on in your life. And you do this by being able to adapt. Are there going to be moments in your life where you don't know what direction to turn in? Of course. We all go through it, and even myself. But I've allowed myself to be so confident and comfortable in my decision-making skills that it almost doesn't even matter how something turns out. I know that more than likely, I made the best decision possible for the betterment of my life and those around me. And I'm able to live with the consequences of even good or bad decisions, which is simply subjective, just depending on your morals and who you are. When we feel like we're not sure, when we don't have that confidence that we need, it's hard for a lot of people to, be confident in making that next move or taking that next step. And I personally don't blame you. But if you can find a way to be confident during those forms of uncertainty and still thrive and prosper, this is going to be the real big difference maker in your life. This is really going to be the turning point for you. Because just think about how many people go through something, or they get put through certain things where they may be unsure, they may be unfamiliar, they may lack confidence, and they simply fold under pressure. They simply don't know how to react to it. And you personally can't blame them because they may not have ever experienced something like that. But if you can find a way to be able to put yourself in those certain positions and actually thrive and come out on the other end successful, this is all it's about. And I personally went through this and succeeded by expecting the unexpected. Things that many people wouldn't even expect or wouldn't think to happen. You have to prepare for things that, majority of people wouldn't prepare for. You don't have to have all the answers. I'm not saying you just have to, just be ready for anything. There's always going to be something that catches you off guard. But during those moments where nobody is willing to step up to the plate, you have to be the one that steps up to the plate. And you have to do it confidently, because this sense of confidence is contagious. Those around you will feed off this, and it just makes you much more of a leader. It makes you look way more responsible. And these are all the traits that, I would personally want to be represented as. So I'm pretty sure you will want the same. And just to clarify, this sense of relentless adaptability isn't just about being open to change. It's about actively engaging with it, learning from it, and being able to use it to your advantage so that you can get the best result possible. There's always going to be something that you go through that is unexpected. But if you're more open to whatever comes into your life, understanding that things are going to play out, or they can possibly play out how you want them to play out, then that's all that matters. But if you made it to the end of the video, I just want to say thank you so much. It's your boy Blue Jay Tay. Drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.